3 is when they get, and 4 is when they get a bit harder because they've actually got the decimalised bit. So here you had the decimal point, tens, hundreds, tenths, hundredths, thousandths, tens thousandths, hundred thousandths. This is all 10 times smaller. Each place value means it gets 10 times bigger. Multiply by 10. By moving things that way, the numbers are getting smaller below the decimal point. So that's a tenth is bigger than a hundredth, is bigger than a thousandth, is bigger. So you're breaking something into 1,000 parts or breaking something into 100 parts. Obviously something that's in 100 parts is bigger than if you broke it into 1,000 parts. That would be much, much smaller. You'd break the one thing. So we would do these questions in exactly the same way that we've just previously done the other questions, but we would have to include the other place values beyond the decimal point. So there are no hundreds in here, so I will write hundreds, tens, units, because that's usually a good place to start. I'm going to put a line here, but put a decimal point very clearly on the line, and we will do in each place. And we've got 1, 2, 3 there, 2 there, 3 there. So we need 3 lines afterwards for us to put numbers in. This first one I'm going to write as a fraction and put THS, tenths, hundredths and thousandths. Okay, so you're dividing something into 10, you're dividing something into 100 parts, you're dividing it into 1,000 parts. Then we write the numbers down, 9.34, all the decimal points in exactly the same place underneath each other. If you don't, this is when things will go very wrong. And we have to have the decimal points under each other when we're doing any addition or subtraction as well. So we follow the same routine of covering up the whole thing, moving to the right to show in the columns that are the biggest which number is the biggest first. Come up with the 3 there, so 34 is the biggest number, 34.09, because it has the 3 in the largest place value. Units, tens is 10 times bigger than units, units are 10 times bigger than tenths, etc. So the next column we have 2 9s, because we have to count this one out because we've done that one. So we have 2 9s. Okay, I'm going to write 34.09 as our largest number and then cross it out. So we look to the next column, which is tenths, and there is a 3 here. So if you have 3 tenths, that's obviously more than no tenths. So this is our second largest number. I'm going to write that down. Cross it out. Which means this one, because it was the other one with 9 in, has to be our third largest number. And cross, just put a small line through. Then looking in our units column again, now we have a number with 6 and a number with 0. Well, obviously 6 is bigger than 0, so 6.91 is bigger than 0.298. And finally, question 4, do exactly the same thing, hundreds, tens, units, decimal point. You can do hundreds, tens, units each time, whether you need them or not, it gives you a good idea of what you're trying to do. Then you've got tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3 after the decimal place. 4, 5, 6. So this would be tens of thousandths, and then hundred thousandths, and then a millionth. Okay, so the first number is 21.034. You never give these names like you would up here, like 34, because it's not. It's not a 10 and it's not a 4. It's a 4,000th and this is a 300th. Then it's 12.94, not 12.94. No, definitely 12.94. You only have to say these singularly as single numbers. 10.09, 12.921 and 6.700592. Now, some people would consider that this is a large number. It has a lot of digits, but its actual value of how big it is yet to be determined. So, we look in the hundreds line, cover it all up. There's no values in the hundreds line, no digits, so there are no hundreds. Look in the next line, there's only one with a 2 in it. This is the biggest number, 21.034 is the biggest number of all of those, so this one's nowhere near it, so we cross that one out. Do the next one. We have 3 ones, so 3 potential second places. If we look at the next line, we have 2 with 2's, so it's between these two now. Next line, they both have 9's, and the next line, this one has a 2, and this one has a 4. This is lower than the 4, so this one is second place, and this one is third place. Even though this has more digits, it's actually a smaller value than this one, because that has a 4 in the hundredths. So 4 hundredths has obviously got to be more than 2 hundredths, and a thousandth is actually a very, very tiny amount. So 12.94 is bigger than 12.921. The last one in the tens is this one, so that has to be fourth, which is 10.09, and this one has to be the smallest because it's only got 6 units, no tens and no hundreds, but it does have a very long number, but long does not mean big, because this is a 2 millionth. Okay, I hope you can see all that. It's getting a bit dark, and that's our place value. Thank you.